The SR-72 is a groundbreaking aircraft, blending cutting-edge technology with remarkable speed to deliver an unparalleled flying experience. Engineered for safety and stability, it excels in altitude, speed, and versatility. How did the SR-72 designers push the limits of aviation? Discover what makes this aircraft a marvel and stick around to see how it outshines its rivals. The SR-71 Blackbird is considered one of the most excellent planes in history. It was with the United States Air Force from 1996 to 1998. It was designed to gather information from above. Imagine this aircraft flying at a speed that was over 3 times the speed of sound. That's super fast. They usually don't get their picture taken, but during the Cold War, the aircraft was like a fighter, flying high and gathering critical intelligence while staying out of sight of the bad guys. It was a favorite amongst pilots and engineers as, due to its advanced design and technology, it did not face any issues. However, political issues occurred when the military had a massive problem after the SR-71 retired. They required a new airplane replacement to continue collecting necessary information. That is where the SR-72 Darkstar comes into play. Lockheed Martin, the company that designed the SR-71, began developing this new aircraft to alter how people consider military flight. The SR-72 is unique because it aims to fly even faster, up to 6 times the speed of sound. That's like a rocket. What this fighter jet seeks to achieve is being the ultimate assistant to the military. It will focus on 3 important jobs: spying, monitoring, or supervising, mainly if potential problems exist in certain territories. By achieving this in a very short time, and therefore providing the U.S. military with a plus when confronting anyone who might try to make trouble. As we await the senior year's test flight, it's almost unimaginable how much further we shall progress the SR-71. This new aircraft is not only a question of speed, but of intelligence and saving lives. The SR-72 is prepared to be the next great installment in the history of military aircraft. Anyway, the engineers at Lockheed Martin were not just dreaming big, they were innovating in new ways. It all began in the middle of the 2000s when several bright people at Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works started musing about a whole new airplane. They wanted to design one thing that could fly very, very fast, faster than any plane in the world. They also assimilate a lot from the famous SR-71 Blackbird, which had already displayed and demonstrated how spectacular an aircraft could be. The engineers intended the SR-72 to be as good but far superior by employing a technology that had not existed when it was built. By 2006, Lockheed Martin partnered with another company named Aerojet Rocketdyne. Together, they worked on something extraordinary, a new type of engine. This engine is known as a turbine-based combined cycle, and it could do something quite cool. Smash that subscribe button and get ready for our next journey together. The concept craft could shuttle between ordinary jet engines and a supersonic scramjet engine. This means the SR-72 could go super fast while being fuel efficient. It is like having a car that switches between regular gasoline and a flying rocket that helps it move around in circles without expending fuel. But to build this jet, it was not only essential to go fast. The engineers showed that they had a bigger picture set in mind. They desired the plane to be accomplished for this aircraft by doing various tasks. Not only would it gather important information from the sky, but it also watches over areas and, if necessary, assists in attacks. This was not so with the SR-71, which was more concerned with acquiring secrets. The team understood that what the contemporary world required was something other than an airplane that would perform several tasks at once. Therefore, the SR-72 appears to have been designed to be incredibly multi-purpose and prepared for literally anything. When working on the SR-72, everyone thought big, and with good reason. This aircraft would not be an addition of just another high-speed airplane. It would be an intelligent ally of the military. The aircraft is like a new hero has just emerged in the sky to assist the superheroes in guarding themselves and securing requisite information anytime, anywhere, designing a smoothly efficient airplane that can go supersonic. One of the biggest problems is finding out how to make it safe and strong enough to sustain the incredibly high temperature it must endure while flying at incredible speed. When the aircraft reaches a region in the sky close to 80,000 feet, the air becomes very thin, but due to the drag force created by high velocity, the air becomes very hot. Burn is something that regular materials cannot withstand, so the engineers had to pull all the stops. The wise people at Lockheed Martin thought about doing something with a particular material capable of standing this heat. They considered relative concepts such as carbon ceramic composite and advanced metal alloys. These are the types of materials that are used in space rockets and all kinds of fast-moving vehicles. Materials that ought to be used are a critical factor to consider, but they are not the only ones that must be considered. The aeroplane must remain sound and intact in the course of flying. The engineers also had to incorporate the layout to lug the super strong forces together with heat that occur at such speed times of the airplane. One of the intelligent heads that the engineers developed is something known as the Thermal Protection System, or TPS for short. This system is just like a shield for the airplane. This assists in absorbing and dispersing the heat developed during hypersonic flight. This warms critical regions of the aircraft and keeps them operational. They researched and identified coatings and special insulations that would help address the issue. Thanks to these intelligent designs, engineers are able to extend the performance capabilities of the airplanes contained within the reams of hypersonic flight. It is a huge challenge to assemble all the pieces and build this fantastic airplane. All these other aspects are things that the engineers have to consider so that they are able to design an aircraft that flies very fast, yet can keep everything secure and intact up in the air. It is a great deal, however. That is why constructing such an incredible airplane is such an electrifying prospect. As for the SR-72, it is not simply a quicker aircraft. It is a revolution on its own. Think of an aircraft that can use traditional engines and a supersonic scramjet, a Bronze Age fighter that can suddenly transform into swift and thrifty, like a car that can switch between highway and off-road mode. However, it is not merely about speed, but also about doing things effectively and efficiently. Engineers envisioned the aircraft as a workhorse that would collect pertinent data, monitor events, and occasionally participate in fights if necessary. Unlike the SR-71, it is designed to spy, attack, destroy, retaliate, and do everything. Plus, it is not easy to create such a plane. At high speeds, temperatures are a problem, and everyday materials can quickly melt or deform. That is why engineers were using materials such as carbon ceramic composites and metal alloys to keep the plane safe and as strong as possible. They also developed a thermal protection system to help the aircraft manage high operational temperatures. With all these intelligent designs, the SR-72 is projected to be a true aviation masterpiece, fast, solid, and capable of handling everything. So when the aircraft takes off, it starts with a conventional turbine engine, but as it accelerates, it seamlessly switches to the scramjet, maximizing speed. Finally, one must remember the unique engine standing at the heart of this shocking airplane, which is beyond question, crucial for achieving spectacular flight velocity. This is called a turbine-based combined cycle engine, or TBCC for short. It's a unique mix of two types of engines, a typical jet engine and a scramjet. This ingenious design allows the aeroplane to travel at speeds up to Mach 6. Imagine more than the speed of sound 3 times over. That is more like flying than a bullet. First, an ordinary industrial turbine powers the aircraft during takeoff. It then increases in speed, typically at faster rates. However, as it accelerates, the scramjet engine is used instead of the scramjet rocket. This means that the airplane is able to achieve those super high speed rates. This way, having 2 engines working simultaneously is a plus because it makes the aircraft more versatile in many activities. Whether it has to pull data to make a response fast or change something quickly, with this engine setup, it is all prepared. As with all things in this world, the engineers wanted this particular engine to run perfectly, and in order to do so, they had to try it a lot. They also did many simulations, that is, practice runs on the computer and numerous ground tests. The testing is essential because, When the airplane is in the air, all systems must perform flawlessly. On occasion, a mission may require a swift decision, and the engineers want the engine breakdown to ensure that the mission is accomplished on time. Another exciting feature of this engine fixates on fuel consumption while flying at supersonic speed. The other issue of interest with regular scramjet engines is how efficiently they can burn fuel, which implies that they may only be able to fly for long distances, with a pilot having to make a stop to replenish fuel. However, due to the assistance of the turbine engine in increasing its speed in the initial stages, it would be possible to adapt the utilization of fuel most efficiently. Organizations benefit from this since they can cover more distance and perform more missions before they have to worry about expending all the fuel they have. Well then, the TBCC engine is really the soul of this marvelous plane. It makes it go super fast, gives it the capability of doing so many different things, and ensures that it is able to do this while saving fuel. All of this makes the aeroplane ready to take on the challenges of the skies of the 20th century. There is one vast and important difference in the world today, and that is the way countries protect themselves. New kinds of dangers appear all the time, so new types of interactions must be developed to address them. One of those new ways is hypersonic flight, which literally means flying at a speed of more than 5 times the speed of sound. This speed, therefore, serves military forces in a big way, because in the process of gathering information to use, they can target other parties with high levels of certainty. This can really change how conflicts occur and assist nations in responding to threats super fast. The aircraft is designed to capitalize on this kind of speed fully. The fact that this plane is capable of flying at such high speed means it can traverse large distances in far less time compared to standard aircraft. This is of great assistance in ensuring that it grows and thrives without falling into the hands of competitors who intend to halt its growth. Both flying really high and flying really fast make it difficult for enemies to stop it, increasing the probability of it achieving its task significantly. Yet the aircraft is not only an information-gathering vehicle, it can, in addition, be employed to deploy weapons effectively and within the shortest time possible. This means it can do 2 important jobs: guarding against threats as well as seizing opportunities when they arise. This makes it an essential tool, particularly having an aircraft that can do both for the U.S. military. It benefits them in defending themselves from probable foes and addressing new challenges as soon as possible. Think about the possibility of spending several hours flying from one country to another instead of several hours in a car and days on a plane. It would make traveling much easier and bring people together like never before. What the SR-72 does in the military, the cool things that could come from flying fast, are attractive for pretty much every sector of the economy, from shipping to vacations. It sounds super exciting and essential that they are building the SR-72, but the process has been challenging. The primary issue has been money, more specifically in regard to the funds required to purchase raw materials and for business expansion. The U.S. military has a budget just like you and I have an allowance, and often it becomes difficult to search for extra dollars for something as new and flashy as the aircraft. When the idea of drone-killing mechanical technology surfaced in early 2010, the U.S. Air Force felt the SR-72 could actually be a godsend. It was appreciated for how quickly it collected data and for the ways in which it protected the nation. However, they experienced budget constraints, which implied that they needed to spend less than they would have wished. Because of this, they began looking at other possibilities, such as using drones. Helicopters are those airplanes that are capable of flying with no one on board, but they can also gather info, and yes, they're much cheaper than constructing a new aircraft. But still, many people had faith in the SR-72. They believed it could perform some function that other non-stealth air surveillance platforms could. After everyone began getting a sense of just how significant this hypersonic technology would be, defense officials started lobbying for more funding to be allocated towards the aircraft program. They wanted to ensure the U.S. retained its competitiveness over other countries and ensured its security. Of course, there were debates about which way the wind was blowing regarding military expenses and programs too, including discussions about when a future should be planned for. Several analysts claimed that the military must fund remarkable new technologies such as the SR-72. In this way, they can cater to any contingencies that may arise in the future because they have focused much of their energies on research and development. In this way, the military can be guaranteed that it uses better equipment for the protection of people. Therefore, the construction of aircraft is impossible because of money issues, yet it still should be continued. This means that this new technology is something that may happen in the future, and the military needs to be prepared for it. The SR-72 was created with the help of NASA, universities, and other research centers, with Lockheed Martin as the industry partner. Hypersonics is a crucial area of focus at NASA, and in 2014, NASA collaborated with Lockheed Martin to investigate jet engine technology for the SR-72's turbine-based combined cycle. The need to interconnect the various agencies for technological developments was evident through this collaboration. In 2015, the team started planning on building a 60-foot model to determine if the aircraft could go as fast as Mach 6. These tests would afford measurable data on the aerodynamics, heat shedding, thermal protection, and structural integrity of hypersonic aircraft. Furthermore, the primary process of constructing the prototype will involve testing the TBCC engine. Engineers will attempt to find out how well the functions of an engine are and how efficiently it burns fuel in certain situations. Everything learned from these tests will be helpful to guarantee the engine runs efficiently when the SR-72 starts performing critical operations. Thus, the aircraft project is being developed through teamwork and an impressive number of tests. Supported by various partners and after carrying out comprehensive assessments, they are gradually developing an incredible airplane that meets this parameter. The continuing advancement of the SR-72 is that this type of aircraft may drastically alter how countries consider safety and security on the global front. If the US military can soar and assemble essential data very quickly, it may well be a powerful weapon for identifying newly emerging threats. The aircraft is not only fast, but can spy, bomb with great accuracy, and serve as a counter to threats. Still, the fast and increasing pace of change in the world can make it easier for the military to fend off enemies thanks to the SR-72. Because it can fly as fast as it does, the enemy defenses may not easily be able to react to the strike. This means that the US could continue holding the leverage and be in a position to challenge any odds that may occur, rendering it in various aspects of confrontations. The aircraft is also multi-purpose. There are applications for it in numerous branches of the military. It can gather information in areas when there must be tensions and can support ground troops during operations. This makes it easier for military commanders and other leaders to make the right decisions that lead to success in various missions. Hypersonic technology has global influence as well. Most countries are initially using borrowed technology, but they are beginning to fund their own FF aircraft, which creates a potential arms race in terms of similar technology. This implies that while the US military is developing the aircraft, it is also equally sure that it will do so in a world where technologies used in the military are being advanced. The long journey of the SR-72 still appears to have a favorable outlook even today. With tests ongoing and engineers troubleshooting various issues, this aircraft should be ready for manufacturing shortly. When the aircraft emerges from development, the sky will open up a new phase in military aviation. The consequences of the aircraft might not be limited to military purposes only. This design and technology that hits the research for this aircraft could shift the culture of flying for everyone out there. Blessed to be in a position to be able to travel around the world at a much better pace than at present. This could make long trips much more manageable and faster, allowing people all over the world new opportunities. The SR-72 is a step up in designing safety and security in the sky. In terms of its capability to operate and gather critical data and counter threats at unreached velocity, this is an impressive aircraft. To make this clear, it is not only a question of speed. The aircraft also carries out exploration missions, delivers firepower, and engages in missions designed to assist the troops on the ground, which makes it an essential tool in military strategy. With this technology, the United States will be able to maintain its dominance. especially as other countries begin to build their hypersonic technologies. These tests and experimentations indicate that this plane will be ready for operations shortly, and a new page of warfare in the air will be turned. However, there might be even more opportunities that the further development of the aircraft might bring and change our approach to traveling. Long-distance commuting trips will become shorter and faster, and there will be new opportunities for people worldwide for work and leisure. As you can imagine, all this means that the SR-72 is not just an asset to the military, but also a sneak peek of what flying will be like for us very soon. The program suggests advancing military aviation and space exploration since the SR-72. Technologies required for this aircraft may be helpful in other space vehicles, allowing for faster access to space. The SR-72, successor to the SR-71 Blackbird, is more apt for the modern military as it targets speed, stealth, and advanced features. This is why the SR-72 is needed in the contemporary world to meet current and future challenges for the American military. The SR-72 indicates man striving towards the kit as the project progresses.